Yo, what's going on? It's the NRW, as always, giving you a NEW that's new, and we have a new review for Train to Busan, the Korean horror classic, and checked it out with my boy Loy Lee. What's up with Loy Lee?
What's going on, man? How are you? Love the hat. Love your hat.
Thank you. I love your hat because you are the Asian king of comedy, man. The stand-up guy, stand-up comedian. Make sure you go over to Loy Lee Comedy and cop one of those. You know,
yes. .com, loyallycomedy.com. You
there
can
you go.
buy a comedy Compton hat. You don't have to be a gangster to wear this hat. You just have to like comedy.
Yeah, there you go. So great to see you, brother, as always.
Good to be here.
We have this horror classic that we will get into. But before we do that, let's throw it to the trailer right now. Here we go.
부산으로 가는 KTX 406 열차가 곧 출발합니다.
저기요, 이상한 사람이 하나 타고 있는 것 같은데.
팀장님, 여기 11호차 응급 환자 발생했습니다.
꼼짝으로 착각했어? 알려주세요. 아직까지 남의 안에 열려있다니까. 우리 그냥 이것들 달고 부산으로 갑시다, 바로. 지금 몇 호칸? 터널 끝나면 들어가자. 당신을 봐봐. 지금 무슨 일이 벌어지고 있는지 몰라? 우리 열차는 더 이상 부산으로 운행할 수가 없게 됐습니다.
All right, that was the trailer for Train to Busan. As you see, wild, scary horror zombie flick, a great zombie film. If all you watch are American zombie films, then you are really missing out. And if you're one of those people that don't like reading subtitles, you're a dumbass. And I will tell you to your face, because again, this is a classic right here. But you know, I'm kind of giving you how I feel about it off the top without waiting till the end, but it's just so good, man. But we'll break it down. Loy Lee, what did you know about it? Did you have anything before you saw like the trailer way back when, like when you first saw this film? What were your thoughts about Train to Busan? What did you hear?
So a couple things. I'll tell you the crazy mind that is Loy Lee.
Okay.
It came out in 2016.
Yes.
And it's a Korean movie, and it's a Korean horror film, and everybody was like, hey, you gotta watch this. And I kind of take offense to it. It's like, oh, because it's Asian, I gotta watch it.
You know, I feel you on that one. I get that a lot.
So I kind of avoid things. Like I avoid like, oh, I gotta watch it. Cool story. I'm not gonna watch it. So it literally took me 4 years to watch it. But also, horror is not my zombie horror is not my thing.
Okay.
So when you're like, I want to do it, I go, you know what? This gives me a perfect reason to go out and watch it. And they have a sequel come out. So all of these things. But because of you, I was like, you know what? I'll put in the time.
All right. Okay. Appreciate that. So initial thoughts, did you like watch the trailer before you saw the film, or did you just went straight into the movie?
Zombies in a train. What do you need to see in a trailer? They'd be like, you're either on board or you're off, literally and metaphorically.
Very true. All right, so we'll go into the film. It starts off, I'm not sure what city in Korea it opens up in, but we have like this guy who's just he's just about the money. He's a hedge fund manager.
Yes.
Is that what he was?
Yep.
Yeah, just working all the time. Finds out that something's occurring out in the world, and so I guess he sells like funds or whatever, and people are curious what's going on. It's not too known yet. The outbreak hasn't fully enveloped Korea, and makes his way home, and he tries to buy a gift for his daughter.
Oh, that's rough.
And
that hurt.
right? Didn't
that
it?
hurt.
So yeah, so like he even asked his assistant, what do kids like? And so he recommends this Nintendo Wii. Buys the Wii, comes home.
I bet you he
Okay.
didn't even buy it. I bet you he had his assistant just go,
Oh
"Hey, what are
yeah.
we into? Just great.
Go-
Here's put it on the card." But he's done this before because when the kid
Mhm.
opens it up, goes, "Oh," and then looks over and sees the box of another one that he had purchased just for like whatever
Yeah.
Christmas or Children's Day or something.
Woo!
That hurt.
Icing hurt cold. That was cold blooded. Cold like
And-
bad. Like
and the
really
girl-
dad? Really
Yeah.
bad?
Really?
Wow.
Wow, this looks exactly like that one.
just straight cold blooded, and the daughter kind of like gives him that look, and then what she really wants is her mama, but her mama left him because he's an asshole. The guy's just a straight up asshole. Let's put it like there. He cares more about his job than his family, and so they decide. Well, the daughter convinces him to go see her mother. And so they take this train ride to, I forgot what city was the initial city they were trying to get to. Was it Busan that they were actually going to as well?
Yeah, they were trying to get to Busan.
Okay. So they actually did end up finally in Busan,
Yeah.
or I guess, yeah. So hop on the train. As they're getting on this train, you see outbreaks occurring on in the city. And as the train gets ready to depart, this infected hops on the train while the conductor has his eyes totally not on the door, which he should have been.
Security?
Weak ass security. That's
But that's how train. Have you been on a train? Like,
true.
I've been on Amtrak, and they don't ask anything until you're already out of the
Yeah.
station.
Yeah,
Like,
which I always found odd. Yeah, I've been up back and forth to New York many times. Yeah, and you're already going for a little bit before they actually come by and check the tickets, which, in a way, it's kind of, if you already know you got a ticket, that's cool, one less hassle. But if I wanted to sneak up on them, the thug in me was like, man, if I really wanted to sneak up on this bitch, I could have done that, found a way to make, get through. But whatever, that's the thug in me.
I'm just saying, maybe you only need one stop. Maybe you just need to go to that first stop, and you're like, you know what? I just jump on. Where's your ticket? Don't have it. You got to get off on the next one. Okay.
Yeah. So an infected gets on, and so the obvious is going to happen. So that it's going to spread, and then like a train ride, boom! It gets rolling, one after the other. There's a baseball team that you meet that's on the team, which I thought was really dope, and a key character in that team. When I started looking at the credits on IMDb, and I kind of recognized him as well. I didn't recognize him way back when I first saw this in 2016, and then recently saw it again because in between that time he starred in Parasite, which is another classic. Again, if you're not one of those people that doesn't like reading films with subtitles, you Parasite, right?
Yeah, I saw Parasite. Yeah,
great. Well, I don't know how you feel about Loaded, but to me, it's a great film. It deserved every award that it won. But yeah, the younger son in that was in this film.
If you saw Parasite and you're like, man, I don't know what the hype is, watch the breakdowns and like the videography and like the storytelling of just like the imagery, and it will blow your mind on just all of the things that you don't understand about the visuals and storytelling.
Yeah, I love it. So I would assume you really enjoyed it as well, Aloy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thumbs up. I read it. Everyone was like, hey, you should watch it. Not because I'm Asian, because it's the one like movie of the year. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'll watch that.
Yeah, great film. So the younger son in Parasite is this baseball player in this film, and cool little intro there. He has like kind of a girlfriend character within this scene, and you meet this baseball team. The next group, besides the family that we already met at the beginning of the film, the son, the father and the daughter, we meet this married couple. I don't know if they're married or they're husband and wife, but she's pregnant.
She's pregnant.
Yeah,
and he's a
I don't know if they were married though.
He's a behemoth of a man,
and he was my favorite character of the film. And still, I'm like, I wish he would have spoiled. You know what? Hashtag spoilers. But you should have already seen this. This is a classic film.
I don't know. I don't know why you're waiting for us to tell you how the story goes.
Yeah. But that guy was what is that guy's name? I wanted to give him love, man. I want to say I've seen him in Dong Suk Ma. He played the
Yeah.
character of Sunghwa, if I'm
Yep.
saying it right. If I'm
Probably not. I'm gonna go with
Probably
we're not.
yes, I'm a Filipino trying to speak Korean, but mad love to my Koreans out there. But Dong Suk-ma, by far my favorite character in the whole
Yeah.
project. So
Badass.
we meet
Super
them.
badass.
Super badass, bruh, badass. So we established the main characters. Oh, and there's this evil, or did we meet the guy who
Businessman.
I hate the most?
Yes.
The one company manager guy who's like, just get the fucking train going and shit.
Yep.
What's his name? I don't know that guy's name.
We find out that he is like a CEO or something, but he's a
Yes.
businessman. He's a nice business suit, older guy. So you know, like right off the bat, that's all the imagery of the villain in this movie.
Classic. The guy, and he played that role to the hilt, and they made the scenes to the hilt that this guy's an asshole, and he still gets out of shit, and you're like, fuck that guy, and he still makes it through shit. So okay, we get introduced to all these characters, and then the zombie explosion happens, and so now
Inside the train.
Inside the train, yes, and we're trying to survive with all the zombie chaos.
So this is kind of this. So this is why I have a hard time with horror movies and zombie movies in general. Just the inability to disconnect my logic to what I'm watching.
Yeah.
Like it's like so when you watch the movie, the thing is they don't know how to open doors, right? So and the thing is like once they don't see you, they're perfectly fine, and and that for me is like they just like. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm on board. I'm on board with that. But the thing is, like, so the parties get split up. The main character, the horrible dad, and the badass guy, and the baseball player, they get split up, and then they have this bright idea of being like, "Hey, well, let's go find the other. Let's meet up with the other."
Well, not yet. That's the
Okay.
next portion. So so the chaos happens, and they finally pull into one city.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, because it happened. The divide happens in the city.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. You're right.
So,
you're right. So I apologize. I'll say that. I'll say that.
Yeah. So they pull into this city, and that's where they find out it's affecting all these cities now. But they find out like last minute, and so now they're all rushing to get back to the train, and just a great batch of sequences there. Of they're coming right into this swarm of zombie soldiers, and now they have to rush back.
So they're supposed to go to this next stop, and they're supposed to be safe. And then the horrible dad calls a partner of his, and he's like, "Hey," who's a military guy, and the military guy is like, "Okay, we can pull you and your daughter out. Just where whatever. When everyone goes left, you go right, and we'll pick you up." And the daughter was like, "Hey, we can't just leave everybody." And he goes, "We're gonna have to."
Ain't gonna lie, if it was me trying to protect my daughter, fuck them. Like, I'm trying to take care of you. You and May are the only important thing. If I had the ability, I wouldn't be as cold-blooded. I would tell a few souls, but then at the same time, it's me and you. You know what I'm saying? Would you agree? You would want to take care of you and your wife or whatever, and go east while everybody's going west.
Hey, big homie, how many people can you take? 2? Well, that's a great number.
If it is what it is at that moment, but so they do that, and then bam, zombies are coming, and they gotta find a whole nother way out. And I love how my favorite character Sunghwa, played by Dong Suk-ma, sees the child, picks up the child, because he's again, that's that soul. He fuck everything. He's going to try and take care of people. And just like earlier, when the zombie apocalypse started happening on the train, everybody's trying to rush to one part of the train, and then the asshole father, and this is where that kind of the interplay between those two characters, which we missed earlier, try to get through, but he wanted to close them out, and he was straight up. And I loved how Dong Suk-ma is like, "Bro, you were an asshole, man. You ain't gonna apologize." He tried to give him a chance, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could have apologized, which you did. I had my girl's pregnant right here. You ain't let us in. So, which,
but it's one of those things where it's like, have you seen the zombies? Like, I get it, but I mean, I get it.
There's
I'd close the door too.
Moments within this film that, and then we'll get to like when with the asshole the CEO guy, like you could have saved these people. Some of them could have been saved. Yes, we're trying to protect, but come on, there's certain parts where some humanity was shown through, but it showed, and I guess it's a testament to kind of what the world is. A lot of people save themselves first, fuck everything else, and there's no compassion at all. But one point that before I continue, like you were pointing out earlier with, if it's closed, but they don't know how to operate it, but they figure with the brilliance of the pregnant lady, cover it up, so they don't see it, because she already makes that, gets that intuition, figures out that if they don't see you, they're not going to come after you, but they don't play that off everywhere else in the film. Like,
right.
You learned that lesson, so fucking do that. Put
Right.
cover up the windows.
It's almost like, well, they can't figure out the slide. They can't figure out this motion. What difference does it make? Let them fly. I don't know. Like, they'll be fine.
Yeah, it's like, again, the problems I do have it with are like what you stated earlier, where once you figure it out, then they should take that forward through the rest of the film and utilize those lessons. And you're in a fucking zombie apocalypse. Stop staring and watching. They die, dude. A lot of people are dying. You've seen how many deaths so far? Fucking keep it moving. Like, really?
Let me just close this up real quick.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So yeah, we're at the train station. They're now rushing to get back onto the train. A lot more people die as they get onto the train, and then they get split up, like you said, Loy. And now they've got to make their way to each other to save each other.
But do they?
But do they?
I mean,
you'd go for your girl. You'd seek out your wife, man, if she was on the other side of the train.
No,
and
it's
it was
zombies.
my family, I'd do what I had to do.
Yeah, my job at that point when I'm split up is like, my job is to get home safe to you. So the thing is, like, if I gotta just sit in this bathroom stall with 3 other guys, that's it. Like, hey, we need to meet up with them. It's like, do you really? We're safe here. Like, I get it, but they're safe. I know for a fact they're safe over there, and I'm safe here. So I think that. But also, I think the problem that I have is like, well, we gotta make it 6 cars. You're gonna like, but do you? do you really? I mean, you're safe, right? Isn't that 99% of zombie apocalypses stay safe? And I think my biggest frustration is when they're going through the different cars, they're not trying to kill the zombies.
Yeah, they're fighting them like they were regular smugglers. Like, bruh, they're gonna get back the fuck up. They get
let's
up.
Go around. Yeah, let's go around them. Let's go. No. Hey, get one over, knock them out. Close the door. Wait, knock them out.
Here's also a big problem that I have that from a lot of zombie films. Their main weapon is their teeth to chomp and bite you. Right, their whole thing is biting you. Right before they decided to man up and go through those cars. Baseball player guy from Parasite pulls out this bag of like wraps and all kind of stuff, and all they do is tape up their arms. Fucking, you know what I'm saying? Throw more clothing on, like leather. And there's a big thing of leather that gets pushed aside. I don't recall ever seeing it later on. He moves the leather to get to the tape. What? You know what I'm saying? You remember that?
Tape baseball bats to it to start.
Bruh.
And then the big guy, that was like the weirdest thing, was like he takes his jacket off. And I'm like, I get it, bro. I get it. But like you have this covered, but what about all of this?
Yeah.
Like, that's a problem.
You don't want to, we haven't learned in these zombie movies. All they have is their teeth. They can't bite through, so many, add layers to cover that shit up. The perfect thing would be like a seal suit or something, or additional, I don't know, maybe not a seal suit, or maybe a steel mesh type, seal suit. But fucking, it's called just, cover the skin up. You know what I'm saying? You don't want fresh skin out there, because then that's mighty tasty to these cats.
Yeah. And plus, we don't know how it all works. I'm just knowing that I'm seeing them biting people. So
that's their main weapon, is the teeth. So like, come on.
But my biggest frustration is like, I get the danger of the zombies, but it's like, you got to start taking them out, because if you don't, then if they don't kill you now, they're gonna kill you later. Like, you're just leaving that wide open. It's a train. They're gonna come from in front of you or from behind you. So the thing is, like, you shouldn't have a hard time knocking these people out.
Yeah. So, but they actually legitimately get through go through a few. They find a police shield, which I was kind of upset. I had a police shield, but then you drop the shield. But you use it for a little bit. But come on, man. And then they figure out the cool tactic of going through the tunnels and the quietness when it's dark, and so they can kind of maneuver that way. and then the sound thing. You know, there's other ways they could have used these factors that they've learned to kind of get through them a little bit. They implement it into some degree, but then it's like, again, like I said earlier, you learn a lesson, keep utilizing it in practice. You know, don't just do it one time, several times.
You're gonna tell me that like when it goes dark, you can't just murder a few of them to make it easier?
Yeah, hello. Take a bat to the head on these cats while they're fucking dazed and the other way.
Yeah, you knock one out, you run back, close the thing, wait until they go, huh, what's going on? Knock them out. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Yeah, logic.
Strategy. Like, I gotta get home safe, and that's leaving just zombies running around the train sounds like a horrible bet.
Yeah. So they finally make it through. They get to their loved ones that were in another side, but they still have to get to the safety where all the other safe passengers are at. But our evil CEO guy is like, man, no, let's block the doors and shit. And so they're unable to get through. And our cast of characters have like probably about 5 minutes where they could have made it to safety, but are stuck fighting to get this door open. And then my favorite character, Dong Suk Ma, commits, an act of bravery to save everybody else and his wife, and tells the bad father, take care of my wife and and take care of your daughter, but take care of my wife and lead them to safety, as he, holds up, which again, he went out like a G. He like starts knocking out these cats as he went through, held another zombie cat up to the door to still blockade everybody as he zombified holding that shit. My brother was a G, man. Dong Suk Ma, man, bro, he killed it. I really enjoyed that character. It was just sad to see my guy go. Would you want to say anything about him or anything?
I mean, it was a tear-jerking moment, right? It was like very prominent, very poignant, but it's like that shit could have been avoided. Like you didn't have to hold the door. You could just put your foot in the door. Like you guys, like you've been spending time, you haven't fashioned like a baseball bat to just perfectly fit in the way of the door. Like the thing is that bothered me about that is like, oh, we got to get inside where everybody else is. Like you don't. You just could have just stayed here. Like everyone, like you have a baseball bat and you're running to try to open the door. It's like turn around and go the other way and fight the zombies. I think that's a better proposition.
Yeah, and you've been on trains. I would assume plenty of times. I've been on train a ton of times. There's so many fucking doors. Like, but even without there being so many doors, fucking close each door as you're going. They kept on leaving doors open. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Did that if there's elements that bother me, it's a great film, but just some logic steps like fucking
throw blankets over their heads,
suitcases, or blankets,
anything. Just
utilize objects that you have, man.
Like that thing is like okay. So the problem is this: the kid with the baseball bat breaks the door to get into where everybody else is.
Yeah.
When you go, hey, the zombies are that way. Now you don't have a door hiding you from them. Like it didn't make sense to me. And then not to jump, but okay, I'll let you go. I'm just saying breaking the door down doesn't help you if you're running from other zombies because doors, apparently. How do they work?
Yeah. So they get through because he knocks it out. They finally take down the evil manager guy, puts him to the side, and then they've kind of got it blockaded for a degree, and they get overruled because the evilness of this guy. Oh, he's infected. So and they all overrule. So he gets the rest of the people to put them into the next section of the train, which was a great, actually good benefited them because of what happens next. So they're stuck into a vestibule part, and they block. Go ahead.
The problem that I have is that the logic. See, this is what throws me out of the story. I would have been fine. I have issues with logic. It's like now, okay, so for sure you have zombies there, and then you're gonna put the infected people in front of you. So now you are stuck.
Yeah, I feel you, Loy. I feel you, but
I'm opening the train door, the one that goes outside, and just standing knocking them out, like just like, hey, on to the next one, just throwing them off the train. Not my problem.
you
But then
know,
you're gonna put yourself between two sets of zombies.
yeah.
Fucking
But he wasn't a sharp tool. Well, he was sharp. He was quick on his. That manager was quick to like as soon as he was about to get pounded, he's infected. You know,
I mean,
he was sharp to like fucking throw the buck somewhere else, man. So yeah, so they get separated, put in the vestibule, and then so that team then blockades that door, but then you still have that other door that the zombies don't know how to open because they don't know how to do this. But
doors, how do they work?
I know, right? But I love this scene too, though, because so there's this older Asian
Oma.
lady whose whose sister was part of the crew that was originally there safe, but then gets caught when they in between those last couple of scenes and gets infected. And she's like, man, these motherfuckers, like she comes to that reality, like we should have saved them. And look, they got my sister got killed because of these assholes. And then she's like, okay, fuck these bitches. So like she looks at her sister and decides to fucking wipe these guys out because they were assholes. And that goes down and we kind of just see it. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, that was like that's the move. That
was great, right?
We gotta thin this. We gotta cull this herd because there's a bunch of idiots over here.
Yeah,
let's get them out of the way.
Yeah, that was great, man. I really enjoyed that sequence. You know, that was dope. So they get taken out and they're now safe, but we find out later that the asshole manager still survived that shit along with another conductor guy.
What's that saying? Necessity is the mother of all invention. And this guy, all based off of necessity, became a survivor. He learned how to throw people literally under the train.
So that goes down, and then they finally pull into another station, and they're told by the conductor, we need to switch to this other train to get to the next stop.
But do we?
You say, but do you?
But do we? Like this motherfucker goes in reverse, right? Why don't we just like? There's no fuel. It's just let's just power. Let's go back and forth, and you know what? Let's just go on a bridge and just stay on top of a bridge. That seems to be the safest for the time being.
Yeah. So they have to get off. Well, they got off, and then they try to make their way to this other train where this conductor is chilling, waiting for them, and trying to set that all up. But then a flaming train hits the train that they were just on, which then leaves it, them trapped in between two trains, and they have to make their way still to get there. And a character that we got introduced earlier who in the film that was kind of like a homeless man who was, kind of just was a quiet character, but, he was just trying to survive. And, you had hope for the guy, the homeless guy who was just trying to survive and becomes another hero in the film, like my god Dung Suk Ma, sacrifices himself to save the pregnant lady and the young daughter to get to the bad father guy who's now becoming a redeeming character. He's,
But can you become a hero though? Because when you hold them back and you sacrifice yourself, you became one of them. So now you just added one more to the equation.
In the zombie apocalypse.
It sounds like you're adding to the problem.
You are going to add to the problem, but but he allowed them time to, because it's going to happen there regardless. So he's like, let me at least let them survive. And so they survive. He sacrifices himself, and now they've got to run to make it to this other train. And as that's occurring, we also have the evil CEO guy who sacrifices the conductor he had with him as he's trying to make his way to the train that's already in motion with the other conductor, and flips and sprains his ankle or something. And the conductor, he pushes the other conductor that was with him to save himself. He's just a big asshole, man. And
that is that not a sign of big companies, big industry? Like they're just killing everybody to save themselves. I don't think so, but maybe.
I think so there, Loy. And so he hops on the train, so he's safe. And then the rest of our characters make it to the train. They hop on. And then there's a wild scene that's crazy, and I loved whatever they did to make it look as realistic as they did. But the zombies start latching on, holding onto the train, and then they pile up and pile up and pile up. What do you think about that scene, Loy? That was a wild scene at the end right there.
Yeah, that was probably my favorite image of it all because it just shows like the craziness is just piling on. It almost gave me that same anxiety of like World War Z, where they're just the zombies are just climbing up on top of each other. And I was like, well, look at the bright side. You just have to knock out a couple fingers. You don't have to fight them all. You just have to break a few hands. That's it.
Yep. So the father, kicks away at the hands, and it finally stops them all. But there's just kind of a cool sequence right there. And, they try to breathe a sigh of relief. But as the father goes to open up the conductor door, the evil manager guy that we don't like, CEO guy, was bitten during that whole attack earlier when he sacrificed the other guy and is now fighting against our father. And that whole time I'm like, dude, you went through all that shit. You see, he's turning within that whole space of time. Before he even turned, you could have threw his ass over. That pissed me off. What do you think about that, Lloyd? The first thing what I would have done as soon as I saw that bitch over.
Yeah.
Done deal.
It was kind of crazy. You saw the humanity in him, in the CEO, the bad guy, and he's like, "I want to go back to my mother. My mother's at. Can you go? Yeah. Tell me about the address. Yeah. Okay, bye bye. Oh yeah. You really? I lived there,
Bro. It's just you and this pregnant lady and your daughter, bro. Like what? You've already gone through all of this.
I mean, maybe it's kind of a glimpse that the father, the horrible father, is now becoming a little bit more humane and like a little bit more empathetic. But it's a bad time, horrible time to throw him off the side, or you go, oh yeah, come here, and then we'd all just lock ourselves into the room. But yeah, it was a heartbreaking scene where even the worst monsters of us all, still have some human in them, and like it's very visceral to be like, oh, I need to go, before I die, I want to go see my mother. Like, I where's my mom? Like that kind of hit me deep down to the DNA.
I feel you, but bitch would have been.
Oh yeah, me or you, bro?
This chick and my daughter. I'm sorry, bro, but.
I am under an obligation that I just made 30 minutes ago, so I gotta kill you. Sorry.
Yeah. So they have a 5-minute or however long fight where that zombie CEO almost takes them out, and then he finally realizes, okay, let me hold him, but then gets bitten in the process. And so he wipes it, throws a chain around him, finally throws him over, saves himself because of the chain, but then realizes he's infected now, and now he's gotta get them safe, and then let himself go, and because he knows he's not going to survive it. And we get a poignant scene as they're now safe in the room. Daughter's crying her eyes out. I would have cried my ass out because I know I'm about to die, and I'm about to, I have to give up my child, but I know it's for their safety. And so he has a flashback as he's turning, and then then he falls off the train. What did you think of that moment? That was kind of heartbreaking, but interesting.
I mean, the imagery of it, like where he's in the back and he's crying, and you see him remembering his daughter, the birth of his daughter, and all of those things, and then you don't even see him jump up, you just see his shadow. Like I thought that was very poignant. But we're all realistic. Like if I'm holding the guy and he bites my hand, like, well, this will make it easy and just jump off. Like
because done it right then.
Right then and there. Yeah. Because if your whole mission in life is to protect this woman and your kid, it's like, well, this is gonna happen. Grab on and throw yourself off. But of course, it's the ending of a movie. I get it.
Yeah. So, but before he died, and when he was putting them into the room, he told them how to shut the train down when it got to a nice stop. And so after that whole sequence, I guess they figured it out. They found a good place to stop the train. They're now in Busan, and they come off the train and make their way towards this tunnel. And a great sequence there, because at that moment you could have actually stopped the film right there, and it would have been a great ending, right there. And why don't I turn it over to you on this sequence as they're going into this tunnel and what happens there, Loy?
Yeah, so the woman and the kid, so going back into the movie, the little girl had a song recital and her dad wasn't there, but he got to see the video of it because his mom recorded it.
Yeah.
And she started singing and then she stopped, and then she later explains, like, I stopped singing because I didn't see you. That's why I stopped singing. And as they're walking through this deep tunnel, she starts singing. She's singing the song that she couldn't sing, and she's crying, she's singing.
You think
And
calm her, the mother, because I was curious, like, how did she know to do that? I don't know if we got some foreshadowing earlier, but it hit me in the guts, man. Like, that's how I kind of like wanted you to like maybe explain that a little bit. But
I wish I could, but
it was to calm her down, or even calm herself down.
She was not calm.
Why she chose to, because
she was crying.
Yeah,
but I
she chose to sing was what's what you'll say in a second, but what.
Yeah, I think she was singing to try to, like, just as a closure of, like, her dad will never be there, and she's finishing the song. And then I think there was something in that dialogue, and I can't remember exactly what he said, but he's like, he's like, sing, you gotta sing. So, but it was great because that's what saved him. What they didn't know was at the end of the tunnel, there was the army, the Korean army, and they're facing down the hole, and they see them, and they're like, are they infected? I don't know, take them out. And then they could hear the little girl singing, and they're like, well, these zombie, I've never seen a zombie sing, so it must not be a zombie. And that's kind of what saved them, I think, in actuality.
Yeah, that's what that is what saved him, and that was, to me, the brilliance, and I think just the writing was spot on as a writer, as a creative, that they introduced that earlier on in the film. He tells her to never stop singing, and like I was curious, was she singing to calm the woman down, the pregnant lady down, or herself, or whatever, but she did it. And it's a good foreshadowing from the earlier part to then this ending where they got the order to shoot. They couldn't tell if they were infected or not, got the order, but all of a sudden, as the trigger was slightly pulled, and they hear the singing and bow, they stop, they don't shoot, and hey, hold on, and and that's the ending we get to this film.
I'm curious. I'm curious. I believe that Korean filmmakers they're big on symbols, right? I mean, with Parasite and I don't know who directed this one, but I'm curious. Like, so the little girl singing a Hawaiian song, right? It's like it's a Hawaiian folk song. And I'm curious, like, if that meant something. I haven't taken the time to look into it, but I'm curious if there's some symbolism in it.
Yeah, I might have to look into that. So that's the film, y'all. Loy, so you've seen it now. Did it live up to what you had heard from everybody? And I know you're not much of a horror guy, but to me, this is even if it wasn't a horror film, a great character piece of of symbolism. Like you said, there's hidden stuff, and to me, that's what I loved about the Dawn of the Dead films with the Romero stuff, especially Night of the Living Dead. It was all about kind of race in that one, and then the Dawn of the Dead. Excuse me, there's Night of the Living Dead, and then there was Dawn of the Dead. Dawn of the Dead was all about consumerism, and to me, it's my favorite horror film of all time. The original Dawn of the Dead, then there was a remake, but the original Dawn of the Dead, the second Dawn of the Dead was okay. This is the Zack Snyder version, but the Dawn of the Dead, the original one during the 80s that Romero did, all about consumerism and how we just care about stuff. And again, a favorite horror film, but this film right here, just really well done. One of the best zombie films I've ever seen.
It's good to see Asian faces on movies, and I think that's kind of not anything I got to grow up with other than like kung fu flicks. But I think, race aside, I will say that it's refreshing to see different stories, different stories told through the same human mind thought process, but like differently told from a different perspective. And I think that's really what I want from diversity. It's important to see different faces, but to tell different stories and different perspectives, like, really blew my mind. Because when this first came out, people were like, oh yeah, it's basically a zombie version of Snakes on a Plane, and I'm like,
That's
Okay.
a terrible analogy for this film. I don't think it's that.
I don't think. I mean, I don't think so either. But
Yeah.
that's kind of what I heard, and you kind of go,
Yeah.
okay, whatever. Store that in the back of my head. But just to see like how different cultures see the human the human flaws in all of these things and different narratives. I was really really impressed. So I'm excited. I'm excited to watch Peninsula. Is that something you want to do? You want to do Peninsula?
We're gonna do Peninsula, bro. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. We got to do that. So that's the sequel to this film. But I got to tell you though, as soon as this wrapped up, there's actually a prequel as well. But it's not a real person one. They did an anime. Apparently, there's a anime prequel to Train to Busan called Seoul Station, which is available on Amazon Prime. I don't think it's free. You have to pay for it. Yeah. So that's out there. I don't know if I want to see the anime. Again, like you and I have discussed, Lloyd. Oh, we gotta see anime just because we're Asian. Like.
Okay.
I've seen, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I may check it out because I'm a fan of the series, and I know that the same creative team was involved with that. So that may lead me to check out Soul Station, but definitely going to check out Peninsula. So stand by to the NRW for that future review.
It's already out. It's already out. By the time you're seeing this,
oh yeah,
it's
we're
already
gonna do
out.
that.
You can click the link right here. It's there. Go.
So stay tuned for Peninsula. But would we give it a thumbs up, thumbs down? You already know I've said it this whole review. Great film. It's a horror classic. If you're looking, there's a lot of people that like to watch, throughout the month of October, a different horror film a day. I would say add this to your repertoire. I know it's going to be a part of my horror film repertoire.
And what's crazy, it's like a horror movie that takes place during the day. It's never not day. It's always day. And it's like one of those things where it kind of blew my mind, where it could be this intense without like the darkness of where is it? Like, hats off to you guys.
I completely agree. Yeah, you that's a great point right there. You see a lot of horror films that are set nighttime. Fuck that. That's another great thing about this film.
2 thumbs up across the board. And I don't like zombie movies. I don't like horror. I'm not a huge foreign flick kind of guy. I'm impressed with story, image. There was not a lot of special effects that threw me out of the story. Where if you watch some of our other reviews, special effects or props really throw me out. And I think if I could just stay within the realm of this is the way it's gonna be, and logic is not really a thing, then I'm on board. 2 thumbs up.
All right, I completely agree, Lloyd. So before we sign off, again, stand by, stay tuned to the channel. We'll have a Peninsula, the sequel to Train to Busan, reviewed by me and Lloyd. But before you get there, we've got some stuff we want to tell you, like how you can follow us, and a great comedy special that you should check out. That I'll let Lloyd talk about right now. Go ahead,
mine.
Yes.
My comedy album is free on YouTube, on Spotify, everywhere you stream anything, it's on there. It's called Asian Privilege. You can find me. You can find it at youtube.com/Loy Lee Comedy, and then you can find me Loy Lee Comedy across all your social media websites. LOYLEE Comedy.
There you go. Spend those ducats. Go purchase it. Once you've got it free on iTunes, head over to iTunes and give that man some ducats so you can listen to it in the car while you're working out. Because I do that.
It's not a lot of
ducats. He's my friend. You know what I'm saying? I want to
appreciate
my
you.
laugh on all the time. So
it's not a lot of ducats.
You, Lloyd.
Not a lot of ducats.
Appreciate you as always, Lloyd. Again,
where can they find you?
You can find me at Temple Far East at Strange Since 1977, here at the NRW at New Release Wednesday with my buddy Loy. You can see us raising hell with Glenn Lawrence as we talk shit about Raised by Wolves, but then we have fun talking about Utopia. So, there's a balance there.
Amongst other stuff. By the time you see this, there's going to be a bunch of other stuff. Check us out.
Content. We keep it moving. So appreciate y'all as always. My upcoming show that you should be seeing by this time, Show Pal Show, coming very soon, talking about Filipino American history and culture and the heroes, the movers and shakers within the pop culture. So appreciate you as always. It's the NRW. I'm Patrick. Loy, we out of here. Yo, what's going on? It's the NL blah 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 blah.
I love that show. My favorite show ever.
All right, and 1, 2